Beatnation, it's what's up. Beatnation.
Hey yo, what's up guys? Stitch here, and today I have a tutorial for y'all on my special sound, the 626 effect. So yeah, it's a pretty cool sound that I came up with last year, and yeah, shout out to my brother Ria for helping me come up with the name. I freaking love the name, dude. Anyway, so before I go into the actual tutorial itself, I just want to say two things. Number one, this sound is very difficult for me to explain and elaborate. So I've tried my best to break it down in the most simplest way that I can think of. So please bear with me, alright? Number two, the sound is very difficult to get and also master. So after watching this video, if you find it difficult to get this sound, do not be discouraged, do not be demotivated. Just like any other sound, be it lip rolls or aim bass, keep trying until you get it down, alright? So how do you do this sound? Number one, you need to learn how to burp on command. So how do you burp on command? It's very simple. Number one, you need to swallow air, not inhale. Inhale is like swallow, like how you swallow your food. So swallow some air and leave the air here, like in your throat. Don't inhale it all with your lungs. Swallow it and just leave it at your throat. And once you have enough air, release the air. So for example, swallow, release. And the more air you swallow, the more longer or louder, I should say, the burp should be. So if the more you swallow air, the more burp, right? So the reason why I need to learn how to do this is because let's say learning throat bass or aim bass, right? When you do the sounds, what happens is the muscles in your throat contract, they come closer to each other, and that's why your throat feels very tight when you do both of these sounds, right? But for the 626 effect, like that's actually like a tongue twister if you think about it. Okay, anyway, for the 626 effect, when you do the sound, it's the complete opposite. Your muscles will move away from each other, and they will legit push against the walls of your throat, and that's why when you do the sound, it actually feels a lot tighter compared to doing aim bass, right? So burping uses the same mechanic. When you burp, your muscles actually push a bit away from each other. Not as much as doing the sound, but it pushes away from each other a bit. And that's why I need to learn how to do the sound. And the second reason why I need to learn how to burp is because of stage 2. So burping has 3 stages. 1, you swallow the air. And stage 3, where you release the air. But over here in stage 2 happens right before stage 3. So before you release the air, your throat opens up in such a way that releases the gas, and that's why burping has such a weird sound, because your throat opens in such a way that creates that sound. So the way that throat opens, that is a sweet spot that you need to find. I don't really have an exact explanation on how to find that sweet spot. You just got to keep experimenting. But the one thing I know is that when you do find that sweet spot, when that throat opens up, you hear a slight, it's like ta, like a small sound that indicates that, hey, your throat is open. So what you need to do is swallow some air, open up the throat, but don't burp. So you need to keep your throat open with all the air inside, but don't burp. And that's the challenging part of this sound. You need to find your sweet spot, and you need to keep the air in while your throat is opened up. So these are the 2 most difficult things in learning the 626 effect. And once you can do that, all you need to do is vocalize. So for example, swallow the air, open up your sweet spot, vocalize. So vocalize, like instead of burping, maybe I want to say like what I did earlier, na 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 na, vocalize it, or maybe bada bada mana 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 mana, like that. So vocalize it, right? So that's basically it on how you do the sound. So you need to learn how to burp, because that will actually help you find that sweet spot actually, right? So after you learn how to burp, do the same thing all over again, but just don't burp. So swallow some air, open up that sweet spot, and vocalize it. Don't burp, vocalize what you're gonna say. And yeah, that's it for how to do the sound. A few things that I want to mention. This sound is like a double-edged sword. So when if you manage to get the sound down, if you do it too much, there are times where you feel you need to burp right after that, and sometimes you might feel like you want to throw up. So there's a disclaimer there, right? So like, don't blame me, you made me throw up, okay? Like legit, it happens to me sometimes. I haven't actually thrown up, but the feeling is there. I have burped after doing this sound, so that's one. Number two, sometimes like if you get the sound down, sometimes you try to do it again and it doesn't come out as effective. And that's because when you burp, air goes inside, but some of the air goes into your lungs and sometimes your stomach. So what happens is if there's too much of air in your lungs or stomach, the sound doesn't come out as effective, which is why I say you need to keep the air here. So if there's a lot of air here, it sounds like this, right? If there's a lot of air kept here, it sounds like this. See, it's not that effective. So you need to keep all the air here. Right. You don't need to be that precautious with the sound. Like when you're doing a bass, you need to drink water every few minutes because your throat can get really itchy. And sometimes some people, like Pirati Burn from who I know, actually their throat has bled before from doing too much aim bass. This sound, however, does not carry that risk. But yeah, just drink water, right? It's a beatboxer thing. You have to drink water, right? Keep on doing it. What else? Is there anything else that I have missed on? Yeah, so that's basically it. I'm going to recap the steps. So, or you can rewind, but I'm just going to recap it, right? Number one, learn how to burp, right? After you learn how to burp, right, skip the third stage, all right? So you want to swallow air, open up the sweet spot, and vocalize. Don't burp, vocalize it, all right? So it's basically two steps. One, learn how to burp. Two, open up the sweet spot and don't burp. So you're basically learning two things today: learning how to burp, and also how to do the 6-6 effect. Yeah, I hope this helps. I've tried my best to break it down as much as I can. But yeah, thank you for watching this video. Beatnation, that's what's up.
Beatnation, that's what's up. Beatnation.